political atmosphere ahead of the 2027 general elections has taken another dramatic turn. And from my perspective, this may be one of the biggest developments the Nigerian opposition has recorded in recent times. After months of speculation, negotiations, coalition talks, and uncertainty surrounding different political platforms, the reported adoption of Peter Obi as the presidential candidate of the Nigeria Democratic Congress has completely changed the conversation around the next election. What makes this development even more significant is the growing alignment between Obi and Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, a combination many political observers have long believed could become one of the strongest opposition structures against Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the ruling All Progressives Congress. For a long time, many people believed the opposition would struggle to unite because of internal ambition, leadership battles, and disagreements over party structures. There were fears that the crisis surrounding the African Democratic Congress and the constant discussions about coalition arrangements would eventually weaken the opposition before the election season fully begins. But what appears to be happening now is the exact opposite. From my own analysis, the adoption of Peter Obi by the NDC sends a strong political message that the opposition is no longer interested in endless uncertainty. They appear determined to settle leadership questions early and focus on building momentum across the country. One of the biggest reasons this development matters is because Peter Obi already commands a massive and loyal support base, especially among young Nigerians and urban voters. Since the 2023 elections, the Obedient movement has remained one of the most active political forces in the country. Even after the election ended, Obi continued to maintain visibility through public engagements, national conversations, and criticism of government policies. Unlike many opposition politicians who disappear after elections, Obi retained political relevance, and that consistency helped preserve the enthusiasm of his supporters. Now, with the backing of a coalition platform like the NDC and the possibility of a working relationship with Kwankwaso,
it allowed the region to complete its term in producing national leadership. This presents a true opportunity for true national healing. We should work in alliance with the parties' agreement to ensure fairness and federal character involves ramifications. This party should ensure to change the way things are done today by prioritizing leadership without hesitating tourism and religious pragmatism. Leadership set we shall set will therefore restore Nigerian community and will guarantee that our citizens at home.
the political equation becomes much more serious. Kwankwaso's influence in the Northwest cannot be ignored. His grassroots structure and loyal Kwankwaso movement remain among the strongest political networks in northern Nigeria. That is why the possibility of an Obi-Kuangiso ticket has generated so much attention. From my perspective, what makes the combination dangerous politically is not just the personalities involved, but the regional balance it creates. Obi brings strong appeal from the southeast, south-south, and many urban youth populations across Nigeria, while Kwankwaso contributes northern grassroots strength and political organization. If both camps truly work together without internal division, they could create a coalition capable of changing the traditional political calculations ahead of 2027. This is exactly why many people are describing this development as a major blow for Tinubu and the APC. For months, there was a widespread belief that the ruling party would benefit from opposition disunity. The expectation was that multiple opposition camps would continue fighting over platforms, tickets, and leadership positions until the election season became too close for proper coordination. But if the NDC has truly moved ahead to settle its presidential candidate issue early by adopting Obi, then the conversation changes entirely. It means the opposition now has more time to focus on strategy, grassroots mobilization, coalition building, and nationwide campaigning. That alone creates pressure for the ruling party. Another important aspect of this development is perception. Politics is not only about numbers and structures, it is also about momentum and public psychology. Once people begin to believe that an opposition coalition is becoming serious and organized, it changes the energy of the political environment. Supporters become more confident, undecided voters become more interested, and politicians seeking relevance begin to reconsider their alignments. From my perspective, that may be one of the biggest advantages Obi and Kwankwaso could gain from this development. The earlier they appear united and organized, the stronger the perception that they are ready for a serious challenge in 2027. However, despite all the excitement surrounding this reported adoption, there are still major challenges ahead. Nigerian coalition politics has always been difficult to manage because ambition and personal interests often create internal tension. The biggest test for this alliance will not simply be public announcements or convention speeches. The real test will be whether all sides involved can maintain discipline, compromise where necessary, and avoid internal sabotage. We have seen many political coalitions in Nigeria collapse because key figures eventually disagreed over control, appointments, or strategy. So while this development may look powerful now, sustaining the unity will be the true challenge. There is also the question of how other opposition figures, especially Atiku Abubakar and his supporters, will react to the growing momentum around Obi and Kwankwaso. Opposition politics in Nigeria is rarely straightforward. Alliances can shift quickly, negotiations can change overnight, and new calculations can emerge unexpectedly. That is why I believe the coming months will be extremely critical. If the NDC successfully consolidates support around Obi while maintaining strong cooperation with Kwankwaso's movement, then the 2027 election may become far more competitive than many initially expected. At the same time, Tinubu and the APC are unlikely to remain passive observers. The ruling party still controls enormous political structures, state influence, and established networks across the country. Tinubu himself is widely regarded as one of the most strategic political operators in Nigeria. That means any opposition coalition hoping to challenge him must be prepared for intense political competition, negotiations, counter-strategies, and attempts to weaken the alliance before Election Day.